Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Don Marsh. There is no shortage of Chinese restaurants in the St. Louis area, but one has been cited by the folks who dole out the James Beard Foundation Awards, the Oscars of the culinary world. Lona Luo Powers of Lona's Little Eats in Fox Park was nominated for a Best Chef Midwest Award. She didn't win it, but did win the attention of Sauce magazine with a nomination. Lona was born in rural China, and her restaurant reflects her heritage and her desire for authenticity. I sat down recently with Lona Powers and Matt Sorrell of Sauce magazine, and Matt agreed that a Beard Foundation nomination is a big deal, win or not.
Well, they're actually a really big deal. You'll hear this said all the time that the Beard Awards are like the Oscars of the culinary world, and they really are a big deal. And I mean, definitely careers have been made, by winning these awards. And it was a little unusual this year because we had six nominees, I think, altogether. But one of the first times in a long time that we haven't had anybody progress to the finals.
Lona, unfortunate for you because you were one of the nominees. How much were you looking forward to maybe winning?
I never really put into looking for winning anything, but I do looking for have the best food, have the best healthy food in the serve the people, and that's what I'm looking for all the time, no matter what, no matter where. And I think it's more important than just a winning.
Well, a nomination is pretty nice too because not everybody gets nominated.
So yeah, before I wasn't really noticed about that's what's a nomination about it. And which is I get a lot of people laughing about me, but which is now I kind of getting about it a little bit, and which is really important for people to notice, even we are not really high serving restaurant, high quality a dressed up, a suit, everything
right.
restaurant.
Not like a fine dining.
Yeah, but it's really amazing. When I look at people describe it to me, I read about a little bit. And which is making me really happy about this, I got nominated. I appreciate everything for all of us, St. Louis people.
Matt, was it the nomination that drew Lona to your attention?
No, actually, I've been a fan for a couple of years. I started eating there right about the time they started out as a food stand at
Soulard.
Yeah, Soulard. And so I'd heard about him, but then I started going there right after the restaurant itself opened. So about 2 years ago, something like that. Yeah. And I was thrilled when they got the nomination because I think they completely deserve it. But it is so unusual because they're a very casual restaurant, not a fine dining as Lona was saying, and so to have her recognized was really, I thought, was fantastic.
Lona, what makes your food different?
I think to make my food different is I really care about the food in a natural way, and I didn't really put a lot of a preservative. No, I don't put in preservative. I don't put in the MSG. I'm care about a food, what kind of food I bring, what kind of flavor, and I like to everything's fresh and natural. So that's how my customer always tell me. You don't need to tell me how healthy it is. My body will let me know how healthy. That's a very important way to stay food culture, I think. And then no longer people are going to be lost to the cooking way that I have it. Right. Because I was born in a village. I don't know about high skill to cooking the way they're acting or they're expecting. And me, I just finding living in a village and to everyday what my village people want to eat and my family want to eat it. So I try to figure out if it's not right, I try to figure out again. And I like to mess around food. And
is your food, would you say, more authentic than perhaps other restaurants that serve Chinese cuisine?
That's I'm actually I like to looking for when I have a day off, I do want to go to taste that kind of food. I always looking for nonstop, which is I like to learning people's different skill, and I like it to sharing each other for this is a kind of important. If a human being are sharing it's what you learn about it, and then I think it will. Continuation will be better.
Right. Yeah. Well, and one thing about Lona's food too that I think is I mean, for a lot of Americans are used to when we think Chinese food, we think General Tso chicken and we think sweet and sour pork and these basically American dishes that they call Chinese. And so a lot of the things that she has on her menu are, unusual to some Americans because we're just not used to it, but they're very authentic.
That's why I asked, because knowing something of her background, I thought this would be the case. No monosodium glutamate or anything like that.
No.
As Lona said, no preservatives, none of this sort of thing.
It's deceptively simple.
I'm looking at my notes here because you came from a part of China where many cultures were close to you. You're near Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, and Thailand, all different kinds.
Yeah, Burma. So it's really close to me. So
yeah, how is that reflected? Those foods from those countries, are they reflected in what you cook?
Like a spice way we're using and the fresh herb way we're using, it does really influence each other, and even we are kind of totally different their country and my country, but in a village we are kind of a neighbor, and I don't really feel they're different. More different, like I feel like China, North China, like I feel different country. When I was young, I didn't know I was a Chinese because we don't have a TV, we don't have electricity, so I'm more feel like areas like mine people.
Yeah, you described it to me one time as being like, you would have like all your neighbors were of different ethnicities. So, yeah, it was just, you didn't think of them as like somebody from Thailand or, it's like just somebody from the village.
Yeah, so that's how I always felt it. And people say, Chinese people, until I was no, I'm Chinese, I was go to high school and we have a TV, we start learning history, start learning everything. Then I noticed, I'm Chinese.
Matt, what are some of the things that you enjoy on the menu?
Wow. Well, I could just say everything and leave it at that, but I will say, because I do like pretty much everything on there, but my favorites are, I very much like the bamboo stew, which is, I think that's one of your village dishes.
It's a very traditional way of cooking, like a poor villagers eating because of make your kids eating more food.
Yeah, the bamboo is just really good. The spicy eggplant I like a lot. And then I one of my pet peeves is I really like tofu, but tofu is very hard to cook apparently well. So a lot of places it gets very rubbery, and Lona's has like some of the best tofu.
Right.
I think.
Lona, do you have any difficulty finding the ingredients? I mean, bamboo is not something you find everywhere.
It's really difficult to find the ingredients. Most of the time, if I see, I will grab a whole everything in the shelf, or the people who have it in the closet, they have. I just buy everything one time. Some of the spice, and I purchase it from a village, and then the flavor, everything's kind of very different, and then. If you purchase at other place, I don't know. So what's the different about it? I haven't no time to research that part. But I do notice it's like a flavor when you start making other spice with the same of a flavor. It's a kind of a turn to different. Yeah. Now I once a year, and I tell my brother purchase it for me. And then I'll go back and get it.
You go back and get it?
I will go back, and then same time I can visit my parents, and I can just chatting with my friend, eating around the food. I can learn more, and then I can bring back more tips.
Right.
Any difficulty traveling back and forth?
It is very difficult, and because it takes 3 days to travel to there, 3 days come back. And it's not really surprises, which is every time I think about go back, I'm so excited to go back and see my parents or my family, my brothers. And but definitely think about the flying. I just like, oh man,
it's a long trip.
Very long.
You married an American. Are you an American citizen?
I am, right now.
So there's no difficulty with visas or anything like that going back and
not
forth?
really difficult. Definitely much easier. Anywhere you go, they don't really control you as a Chinese citizen because we are born in China, like a village side, and to be a Chinese villagers, it's really harder because you don't have money, you don't have nothing, and also people are looking for is if you have money, if you have anything, you earn it. In the villages, none of the people we earn anything because we are self-supporting farm, and everything's every year turn to new, and then we have enough food, have just barely not much money to supporting ourselves.
Where do you shop here? Is there a particular place to go?
I like the shopping, some olive Chinese market, and then they're definitely really sweet. Like me, I can go inside looking for what I wanted. And I'm a super picky person. And I know they might sometimes thinking I'm really difficult to deal with a customer. But anyway, and except a very picky one, and I'm still very nice the other way. So,
do you experiment a lot? Do you try new things or try to invent things?
I do. In a home, especially my husband he's a foodie. I'm a foodie too. So which is a kind of the same match, and he like a mess around with me, and we both like cooking, and he liked eating, and we both, if not good, we really honors each other, and which is maybe other people heard, and then they will not like the way we honor.
Matt, it sounds to me like they're pretty hard workers.
Oh, most definitely, yeah. I mean. That's one of the hallmarks of, you can tell, somebody who's so serious is, whenever you go to the restaurant, they're there. And Lona and Pierce are there every time I go. And it's, she's definitely, as a chef, one of those people who she's hands-on. She's there all the time. It's not a situation where she's, starts it up and lets it go. It's very impressive. And a lot of hard work. I mean, a lot of, long hours.
It is. So I just feel like that's on my baby, and something going wrong. So that's as most of it making me feel down for whole day feeling. But other stuff, I can just put it back a little bit. As a food, it's I'm really serious about it. I like food, and I like people enjoy it. And like I say, anytime if any problem, just give it to me, and I'll fix it better.
Do you have children?
I do. I have a 15-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son.
And what do they like to eat?
My daughter, basically, she loves everything. And if I'm fixing anything for her, she just enjoyed it. And my son's kind of he born here, and he's a little bit difficult too. He will either eat a really, really healthy style, and the way a cooking a completely is a healthy, no any junk in it, or he will eat a junk. So two style he will be going to, but which is most of the time I spend my time to cook for my kids since they was born. If I don't have time, if uncle or grandma they take it, they'll say, "Mom, I eat French fries." They was really happy about it, and which is nice for them for treat. Yeah, like my daughter said, and some of the fried stuff is good for treat. You in our kitchen, you only have a fresh fruit, fresh vegetable, fresh meat, fresh fish. That's all you have. My daughter got to fight with me.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to have junk.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
That's for sure.
When you go out to eat, assuming you do from time to time, where do you go?
I like to go to the Publico, and then they have a really natural flavor in there.
Publico, it's the Mike Randolph's restaurant.
And they'll do a little bit pricey for me, and I like to eat like a healthy style. And also, I do like a Sydney Street. They have a seafood. I love seafood. So, which is if I want a good seafood, I will go there. And if I just want a regular food, I mean, I go to the place too. And then just most of us restaurants making me a little bit disappointed. I can taste the MSG, so it's a kind of too sad post thinking about that. And lots of time I go and I want my kids happy to just go and supporting restaurant.
Matt, we have to wrap this up.
Yep.
If you would tell people who are listening why they should visit Lona's place.
Well, I think number one, it's a local business. It's a family-owned business, which I always love to support and I always promote. And it's really good food and very affordable. And it's a place I recommend people to go if I have someone who says, "Well, I don't like Chinese food," which is kind of crazy because China's a big place, and there's a lot of different food there. So if somebody says, well, I have been to Chinese restaurants that I didn't like what I had, if they go there, they're going to get really good stuff, maybe some stuff they haven't tried before, but it's all going to be very fresh, very good, and a great price point too.
And if I show up someday for something to eat, what would you recommend from your menu?
In my menu, all of the stuff, and I bring up, it's like you can be just tell that your friend or your family says people who like a vegetarian, they'll go every vegetables I'm making. I don't think they're really disappointed. Your family or friend want to eat beef, they can choose beef, and no matter, I don't think they will wrong choice. They're definitely right. And anything chicken, it depends on how you like a personal like it. But I like to cook all kinds of food to make it people like a surprise to them, and that's if you want to eat a really good one. That's what I'm thinking.
I also highly recommend them for if there's any vegetarians or vegans for sure. Like as she was saying, the vegetables are great, but it's a great place to go. You can bring everybody. You can bring your carnivore friends. You can bring your vegetarian friends. They're going to find something.
What is your favorite?
My favorite, I eat it. Every day I eat over there 5 days a week, and I basically pick up everything a little bit. It's a column on my tray. So it is I love everything. I like all kinds of nutrients, so I grab everything.
We'll have to give it a try. Lona Powers, thank you so much. Congratulations again on the nomination for the Beard Award.
Thank you. I really appreciate it for all of you guys.
And Matt, thank you for bringing her to our attention.
My pleasure.
Thanks to Matt Sorrell of Sauce Magazine and Lona Luo Powers of Lona's Little Eats, located in the Fox Park neighborhood. Archived versions of past St. Louis On the Air programs are available for download or podcast at stlpublicradio.org/STLOnAir. St. Louis On the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio 90.7 KWMU. Thank you for listening. I'm Don Marsh.
Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.